Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Here I'm just taping the mid-spine with a masking tape. This is to protect any potential leakages to the other pages. Here I have an old community magazine dated January 2019. I'm just gonna use this full page text as my background. So tearing them out first. Tearing off the margins to roughly fit each of my page there. No need for a perfect fit as they're just a background. With my PVA glue, I'll start applying it to one side of the page first. Now the other page. Applying more glue to those missed out edges. Next, I'm going to use my gesso. I forgot. I should have lined both my back pages with the rough papers first. Not only does this help to push those texts into the background, but this is also to prep and prime my journal paper for whatever mediums I'm going to use later. Concentrating on the edges of the torn paper to blend them. Speed drying it with a heat gun. Here's a hexagon pattern stencil I had cut with my Cricut machine. I'm gonna use my modeling paste by Winsor & Newton with it. Gotta be quite gentle with my palette there, as the stencil sheet is a pretty thin and flimsy one. Yep, gotta clean that stencil first. I'll be using this light orange chalk paint and this acrylic paint by Folk Art. Gonna use baby wipes to apply them. At this point, I was like, what the heck? So I just added on more colors. Now I'll try using my brown acrylic paint by Daiso. Again, as per normal, I didn't start this off with a plan, so I'm just doing whatever I feel like at the moment. I'll now be using this light blue chalk paint by Little Birdie, a color that kind of complements the brown as per the color wheel. My baby wipe is still wet, making the color rather subtle-like. Next, I'll just use the blue to give some splatters. Also with the brown paint there. So I missed out recording earlier when I added more blues here. With my water spray, I'll try giving the spread some light drips. Now I'll be using my white acrylic paint. Just a little dab first. Now with that same ice cream stick, I'll try creating a line across the spread. Then some random vertical lines. Really, I'm just doing what my hand led me to. With the same white, I'll make some splatters. Here's a chicken wire pattern stencil I'd cut with my Cricut machine. With my old sponge dabber by Daiso, I'll use that leftover brown paint to apply onto the stencil. I'll just do it near the spine there. Feeling blanked out, I did some splatters to let my mojo going. Next, I'll be using this black acrylic ink by Speedball. Using the same ice cream stick technique, I'll create some black vertical lines in the middle. I'll also spread a horizontal line onto that existing white line, making it the foreground color. Then some black splatters. Now with this big blue old alphabet stencil, I'll try making the main word out of it. I'll be using this small piece of packaging sponge to apply the ink. I'll just take a gander and see if I can guess the length of the word properly. Ah, my first mistake. Wiping it off and try to recreate back that part of the background, which I failed. I figured instead of ink, I'll use my black acrylic paint, which should be more controllable. Now let's try this again. Of course, I do realize I have to dry each of the alphabet before doing another. As a journaling paragraph, I'll be using these mini alphabet stamps. I'll use that leftover black ink there. The quote reads, Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. Next, I feel the spread needs more splatters. Here I have a small magazine cut out of a vintagey lady. I'll use my MAC medium to paste it down. I'll try putting her on that boshed up black part there. Here I'm just doing some touch-ups with my ice cream stick. I feel still I need more splatters. Bigger splatters. Now taking off those rough back papers. I'll also clean up by trimming off those protruding tape on the mid-spine. And I call that done. Quite happy how this turned out, a bit on the grungy side. So, thank you guys for watching, happy journaling, and bye bye.